Well, hi everybody, my name is Jean and the name of my channel is Jean Home Decor and More. Welcome back and welcome if you are new. I am so happy that you guys have stopped by my channel today. Today is all about plants. So many of you, my ride or dies people who've been with me for a while, you guys know that I love plants. I love houseplants. I've loved houseplants for a long time. So I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. I'm not a novice to plants, but with some plants, I have a love-hate relationship. Now it is a challenge because when you have plants, sometimes that, you struggle with making them grow. Sometimes you tend to shy away from them in the store because like anything else, you want to get a plant and you love to see it grow and prosper. So today's video is all about houseplants and styling my houseplants. As you can see, I have a few behind me. Now I'm gonna be straight. I don't want them everywhere. I don't want it to look cluttered, but I just want to show the beauty of the plants because I love them so much. But I guess I'm like a little OCD, like they have to be in a certain area where I can appreciate them. And I want them to be in an area where they get a lot of light. This area right here is the south part of my home. So these plants here get a lot of light. But when I show you about how I style plants, I'm gonna turn the camera around so that you can see how, my idea or my way, styling my way for styling my house plants. But we're just gonna look at some of my plants. So I'm just gonna turn the camera around, guys. So thanks a lot for watching, keep watching. So as you can see, I like my house plants, the styling of them. I like to style them, I guess you could say in clusters. I think they're friends, they've all become friends. So let's start off here. This is a rubber plant, and when I got this plant, it was much smaller. It really likes this space. And you can see it has a couple of new buds on it, new leaves. And you can see down here, let me see. You can see here we're getting some more new leaves. But a lot of these plants come from, I've gotten a few from nurseries and I've gotten a few of these plants from Lowe's or big box stores. But I like this rubber plant. It is really doing well here. Now, this plant I've showed you guys before. This plant has to be, oh my gosh. Woo, this plant must be 12 years old. My mom had this plant, and initially when she got it, it might have just been right to this point right here. Then my daughter had it for a while, and she had it in a huge planter, and then she moved to Texas, and she left it with me, and I just could not leave it in Maryland. I had to bring it. So we transported this plant in the back of my SUV. And so, believe it or not, when we first got here, it only had this stem and of course the top one. And they were very spindly looking. But then after we got here, look what we're getting down below. So I don't know if you guys can see those, but I have two new shoots down the bottom. So this plant is really doing well here. So it likes it in this spot. Okay, so now we're moving on to a different cluster. So here I have a Christmas cactus, and this is doing well too. Now, in the past, Christmas cactuses, sometimes I like them, but they didn't like me. But I think him and I are getting along well. And one reason why I like plants is that you have to study them. You really do. You have to read up on them, research them, study them. because you want to study how best to care for them to make them grow and prosper. And I guess we all know that, but you know, they take time. So as you can see, this has a new little shoot coming on it. We have a couple new here, and one over here, one up here, one right there. So he's doing pretty well here. Now, as we get toward Christmas, I'll put it in a darker area and then it can bloom. Now, moving over, here's another Dracaena. I showed you the one that was my mom's, and this is another Dracaena, and I had this one for a while, and she's getting taller. Now, here's the thing about this. These ends, you see how they kind of are light green? They're not really a dark green. If you want to make them a dark green, which would actually be more healthy, you have to use distilled water. And sometimes when I go to the grocery store, I can't always find distilled water. So I water it, and but that's why when you use distilled water, the ends are, you know, they're not kind of like the yellow, they don't get yellow on the end. All right, let's see. Like here's one, see how that yellow's on the end? If I were using distilled water, this would be greener on the end. It's just a matter of going to the store and finding it. But otherwise, it is quite healthy. Now, this is a variation of a rhododendron. And she's doing pretty good. I need to, you know, kind of wipe her leaves off, which is sometimes I do that as well. But she has some growing in the back there, but she's actually doing very well. And that's another thing. I do wipe my leaves down and kind of shine them up. But that one is doing well. Now this one is a peace lily. And she just grew a bulb, as you can see, which was flowering, and now it's died off. I'll cut that back and she'll grow another one, because if you come down close in here, you see we have some new growth coming along as well. So I seem to, these peace lilies and I, we seem to like each other. Now this plant requires, she likes this spot here. She likes the south window, and she likes to be sprayed, which I do spray them all. Some, I try to water most of these plants like every other week. I've learned my lesson. Some require more water, like Miss Peace Lily here. She can take quite a bit more water. These other ones, on the other hand, they don't like to be watered nearly as much. Now, moving over here, we talked about this aglaonema, Chinese evergreen. Now, you can see she's drooping a little bit. So we're going to take her off later today. I'm going to check to see what's going on with her. I watered her a little bit more. You know, I was afraid to overwater her, because here's a lady here, my friend, Miss Chinese Evergreen. Her and I have like a little love-hate relationship about how much is too much or not enough water. But overall, she's doing well. Now here's another aglaonema. This is a different variation. This one is doing quite a bit better. Now, I've gotten better with understanding her. And like I said, this is the reason why you have to study and research these plants. And this is a Monstera. He doesn't need a lot of water. I water him probably every 2-3 weeks, but he's really doing well. And actually, I bought him online. He was much smaller, but he is growing like mad. You can see his new leaf that he's bearing here, but he is really growing like mad. Now, if you water him too much, that's what you'll get on the end. So I try not to water them too much. Now the other thing I want to talk about, I don't like my plants to be on the floor. So as you can see, they're all in stands. This stand here is I like all of them, but this one is my favorite. I got this stand from Home Goods, but most of the stands are all wrought iron. Here, as you can see, I have some blue and white pots and some white pots. My goal is to either, just use all white pots, or I'll keep these 3 blue and white pots, but my goal is to get all of the same color pots. Another thing is, you'll notice that I have the peace lily in the corner because that is the biggest one. So I try to anchor the largest one and elevate it, so that it's higher and it's more of a focal point than the others. But aren't they pretty, guys? Now, when we pan around to my family room, you will see I don't have any houseplants on this side except for him, and he's getting ready to move there. But I put him there only because I just bought him. But as you can see, I just bought this plant stand from Amazon, and I just put it together before I got on this film. And that's an aglaonema there, a different variation. I got him from Lowe's, and he was on a clearance section where people, I guess, don't want the plants anymore. I think what the story is with him, I have to see if he's down in that dirt deep enough, making sure that he's has a good foundation so he can grow and prosper. All right, so let's turn the corner. Now look at this, guys. Isn't he pretty? Now, I'm not sure. I want to say, is this some type of a variation of a Monstera plant? I'm not sure. Now, I got him from Walmart. And he is really, really pretty. And he's doing well. He likes this east-facing windows, or the east-facing windows. And here is another philodendron. And I got her from a nursery. And she's doing well. And here is another variation of a Chinese evergreen, or an aglaonema. And I just got her from a nursery. If I had bought this plant at Lowe's, I promise you guys, this plant would have been $40. So, I mean, this plant was $20, guys, at a nursery. And look how healthy this looks. Now, this plant right here is in a self-watering pot. So I like the concept of the self-watering pots. I really like that concept. So I may do more of those. But sometimes if you can always go to Lowe's and get a self-watering pot. It's just, you have to make sure that you get one that will fit your plant. Now, some of these plants, I find plants in general, and this is just my opinion, some of them like to be pot bound. Now, you can take them out and propagate them. And you kind of know when that happens. Like this plant right here, like if it starts getting too leggy, you can kind of take them, cut them here, and put it in some water, and actually and you can put it in some water and then stick it back down in here. It makes more shoots. Or you can put it in a different plant. But you see, we have some new ones coming up there. So this plant, it likes to be pot bound. So, okay, so I gave you the tour of my plants, and in this dining room, so this is my cluster. This is my new plant stand, which I have to figure where I'm gonna put it. So I may put that plant stand next to some of these. And And I'm gonna move that over. Now here's another reason why, I know this is, kind of off kilter for discussion, but another reason why I keep my plants in a cluster like this is because when Christmas time comes, my Christmas tree goes over there. So, or actually I could put it in this corner, but whichever corner this year I decide to put it in, the plants have to be on the opposite end. So that's why I cluster my plants, and that's why I cannot have plants everywhere, guys, not everywhere. These are the only house plants that I have in here. I might even put that stand over here with these guys.